Well, that was a quick one in. We came in quick on that one. That wasn't a long intro.
I know. I didn't even have chance. I didn't even have chance to share this. So
I know. Look at us. We've got nobody in the chat, so we can just sit here and while away the time. Or we've got one person in the chat now. Go away. Come back later. No, not really. You stay where you are. You stay where you are. We need you. We need the numbers, and we need you anyway because you make the show what it is. Hiya, Kelly, Elliot. I hope you're fine. I hope you're doing well.
Can we just sing happy birthday to Kelly?
Oh, absolutely. Hiya, Malt.
Hi,
ready?
Malt.
1, 2, 3. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday.
In the gutter.
I don't know this bit.
Happy birthday to you.
Happy birthday to you. Oh, happy birthday, Kelly.
Yeah, I went and saw her yesterday. Was it yesterday? Because it was her birthday.
I think that's the castle in is that the Transylvanian castle, Viv?
I think so.
I think it might be Bran Castle.
Should we come out of the screen so people can see? Hang on, I'll do it.
Yeah. Let's dip out. 1, 2. Oh, hang on, you just got me. Hang on.
I'm back again. Dan, come back.
Hang on, baby, come back. Do. Baby, come back. That's the singing night tonight. It's Christmas.
Well,
it's Christmas.
Can we just share a thought, everybody?
Yes, I know where you're going with this.
A very, very important man. Well, it wasn't very important, but he was important.
Oh, he was.
You know, growing up, listening to his music, and he is ultimately, I think, responsible for the ska in the 70s and 80s.
Yeah, definitely.
So we're gonna do our own little tribute to Terry Hall.
I hope I can remember the words.
Let's just go for it. Ready? You count us in.
This town, nothing but a ghost town. What was the rest?
All the pubs are being closed down.
This town, nothing but a ghost town.
Fans won't play no more. Too much fighting
on the dance floor.
So that is our tribute to Terry Hall, bless him.
I'm sorry, God bless you, Terry. I'm sorry I just massacred your song, but it was just a tribute to you. And wherever you are, hope you're doing well, sir. And God bless you. And God bless not just Terry, was it? We lost this year.
We also lost Neville.
We lost Neville out of the band as well. So God bless you as well, Neville. And I hope wherever you are, sir, you're having a wonderful time and things are on the up.
And thank you for the music, more importantly.
Thank you for everything, the music. So, yes. So that was our tribute to Terry Hall and Neville, God rest their souls. A couple of lovely people. And will be sadly missed by not just the music industry, by people of our age group.
I was just reading the comments.
many years ago, William. Many years ago that happened.
Hi, William. Oh, Jeremy, he's on for just a second.
Hiya, Jeremy. I hope you were doing well, buddy.
He's a good lad, and he's our Jeremy.
He's a good man, is Jeremy.
He is, yeah.
Thank you, Jeremy. Bless you, my friend.
So we're supposed to be talking tonight this week about haunted dolls and toys. And is Santa going to be bringing us some, or is it Krampus?
Do you know what? I know that my thoughts and feelings and ideas on haunted toys or haunted objects in general are the same as you. I think we come to the same. A lot of our thoughts and ideas are the same, aren't they?
Yeah.
And I know that we think that objects aren't haunted as such, but they can carry some residual energy of a person or.
Let me get my haunted doll down. Hang on.
An echo of time. So
laugh at this.
So Viv's going to get her haunted doll down. I do find it interesting. I find it interesting that there seems to be lots of lots of museums and lots of places that have turned up with these artifacts in them that are purportedly haunted. And if that's the case, then it seems everything's haunted to some degree. And it probably is, because everything that has an interaction with a person or an animal, obviously maybe some traces of that energy is left on it. So there you go. Just tell us a story of it.
This dolly came from a charity shop. Okay. So if you look at her now, she's got a pair of jeans on, she's got a hoodie on, she's got my team's logo on.
The Raps logo.
And she's even got the thing on the back. She's got a beanie hat on, she's got her hair in a ponytail. We basically gave her a makeover, because when she was bought from the charity shop, she was a Victorian looking doll with longer hair, curly. She had a big flowy dress on and she looked the part. I kept laughing and saying how ugly she was. So a friend of mine took it and said, right, I'll give her a makeover and make her part of your team. And she done exactly that. She even stitched little booties for her and jeans. Cute, isn't it? Yeah, and now she doesn't actually look any haunted or malicious or nothing, because she's been made modern. Now, she's been on many investigations with me, and she's moved once because she was propped up a bit wrong and the floorboards were springy. So, of course, she moved. Team was saying, oh, she's haunted, she's haunted, she's haunted. No, she's not. She's never moved. She's never done anything. She's never had any EMF readings. There's not been anything. So I'm wondering, Dan, do we make them haunted by projecting our thoughts onto that object?
I think it's a good point, Viv. I think it's a good point. And I think people see what they want to see as well, don't they? Which is kind of the same throughout any instance of the paranormal. I mean, I was in, it was a Paracon that was held many, many years ago. You were there as well, Viv. And I remember a certain person brought along some haunted objects, some haunted artifacts. And there was one that was a doll and it was in a case. And he said he had to have it in a case. And it had to have this, because what happens is it moves and it can do all sorts of horrible things. And you can hear it knocking about at night. And he came up with all of this stuff. Now, this doll looked pretty modern to me, even though he purported to have found it in I think it was a haunted mental asylum or something, wasn't it? And it was tucked, and it was, but it wasn't. It was made quite recently. You could see that. Well, this doll, there were some people sitting just behind me, two ladies, and they were saying, "Oh, it's moving, it's moving." Well, I kept my eye on this doll throughout, more or less, the whole of the talk that he was giving. It didn't move. It didn't do anything. But these women, I think what they've done is they were so studious in their looking at it that they either created this image in their own head, or their eyes had played up, and they got tired and what have you, or they just imagined it. It was one of those. Yeah. I didn't see anything, and the lady sitting next to me, the woman that's sitting next to me, she didn't see anything either. So yeah, I think I'm all down for energies being instilled into an object, and I'm all for psychometry. I think that's that's a genuine thing. I'm sure people can read an object by the people that had it prior to them. But hey, Annette!
Nettie's in the house!
Nettie! Hope you're doing well, Nettie. Hope you're doing well, my dear.
Our main woman, Nettie.
There you go. And I think that's it, isn't it? I don't think that they're haunted. I mean, why would a spirit? Do
you know what? This is what, Dan. That same person. I remember being on an investigation with that said person who bought this very extremely dangerous doll that had to be. It was binded and
it was binded, yeah,
and it had crosses on it, but he took the crosses off, and he apparently took the binding off, and I made him take this doll down into this very notoriously, and I know the haunting. I thought it would be so funny.
The Dark Cells. I took
him in the Dark Cells.
I was there that night, yeah.
And he put the doll up against the wall, and he come up with some bullshit. Everyone had to turn their cameras off and all this. So he's obviously there's foul play going on there, and he was trying to impress the people that were in the dark cell with him. And I stood and waited for it, and waited for it, and waited for it, and my patience paid off, because one of the hauntings of the dark cells is rocks come flying across and hit the wall. And, well, I say rocks, more stones, small little stones that won't hurt you, you know. So it started with the stones. And you could see this said person getting very agitated because the stones were being thrown at the doll and at him where he was standing near the doll. And as the evening or what he was doing progressed, he started to get a bit cocky with himself. And the rocks, the stones became smaller rocks, which weren't too bad, until the final one. And I'm not kidding you, this rock come flying. It was about this big.
It hit
and
the thing, didn't it?
Smashed against the wall, and I saw the pieces break apart and fall all around the doll.
He crapped
and
himself.
Then he started getting scared. He said, "Right, that's it. I think it's getting too dangerous. I'm going to have to take the doll out. The doll's getting too wild." And then I'm thinking, what poo are you actually talking? And so we got everybody out. I was left behind with him while he picked his doll up, and the rocks are still flying. And you know what that bugger did? Bearing in mind how dark it is down there, he ran out there with his doll and left me on my own. And I sort of walked out slowly behind him, pissing myself laughing, thanking the spirits for what they did. Now, I think they were angry with him with what he was doing.
Well, he was being very underhand, wasn't he?
Yeah, or there was a bit of interaction. I don't think there was interaction between.
I knew there was something up when he turned around and said, "Turn the lights out," and then there was banging. And before he asked, the question he asked beforehand was, "Has anybody got the infrared here?"
Yeah,
and then I turned around to another investigator and went, "You know why he wants nothing infrared here? Because you can see him in darkness what he's doing." And he was flicking stones at one point from his own side.
Yeah.
But them big stones started coming from a totally different direction when nobody was. And then he crapped himself, didn't he?
Yeah.
And it's like,
the chains were swinging. Where I was standing, I could hear the chains swinging. I thought, oh, time to move.
It was like Spirit had gone, "Oh, you want to play stone throwing, do you? Well, get hold of this."
Yeah.
I think you're right, William. I think William's right what he says as well, that he believes it's the entities in the buildings that... Yeah, I think you're right.
Yeah. Yeah, trace energy, but not attachments.
Yeah. Like a building. Some people can touch a building and automatically get so much information read off of it.
Who was it, Vivian? It's he who shan't be named in public, but I can tell you off air.
Voldemort.
Shh! The Dark Lord is coming.
The Dark Lord is coming. He's drinking, I don't know, goblin blood or something. I don't know what he's doing.
Goblin's blood.
Yeah.
Is that his Christmas drink?
He's gobbling a goblin.
Dan!
But yes, I mean, but you think, I mean, there's like these antique shops and that people run and that, and they say, well, you know, they have energies in there that come from nowhere. I just think it's attached. It's not attachments. I think it's just energies that, you know, place memories that get placed upon them, same as a building does.
Yeah.
Kelly,
you can Annette, don't encourage him by laughing.
Yeah, you carry on. You laugh all you want.
Oh, Dan, Christmas.
But have you ever had anything from I've had various things that I brought home from or been given by people that purported to be haunted, but I've had them and never had anything from them.
I moved into something that was haunted. Got a haunted house.
That's different though, isn't it? I think that's different.
From the first day I moved in, day one, it happened. And I've had spirit. They must have had touched it or bless you, or the energy or something to be able to throw pots and things like that it has. So it doesn't make the pot haunted.
No.
By any means.
Same as you and I picking something up and throwing it, isn't it? Is that energy behind it?
I have got something that is terrible, absolutely terrible. And I got that by accident. And I used to use it when doing circles and things and training people with psychometry. And I would get this thing out. Now, it's wrapped up and I mean it's wrapped up and it's kept in my jewellery box. But it's a piece of concrete that came from one of the crematoria at Auschwitz. And there was only one person that has got it spot on. You know, the energy from that is just very, very extreme and very strong. There is an energy that comes off of it. It's not a particularly nice energy. It's more sad rather than... So sad could still be negative. It depends how you decipher it, I suppose. But apart from that, there is nothing in my house. Nothing, absolutely nothing. Apart from my crystals, which I've got a few of those, quite a few of crystals, that give off a little bit of energy. But I'm hoping that they'll subside a little bit because one of them is very, very strong that I don't know how to use yet. And I've had to wrap that up and put that away. But, and then I'll have a haunted cat called John.
John.
Yeah. All of a sudden, he'll go mad, run round the house for 5 minutes. He's staring at the doll.
I know he is.
He doesn't like the doll.
He's not coming in. Come, give it your best shot, he's like.
Yeah, go on in, John. Here you go. Sniff her as much as you want. There we go.
Think you're haunted, do you? Have some of this.
Do you know, if I could take this cat ghost hunting with me, I would, because he'd be so funny.
He would be funny.
Especially when he has his mad 5 minutes.
William says, is the cat haunted or demonic? I think a bit of both, isn't he?
I think it's a bit of both.
But yes, I don't know. I mean, I don't know. I mean, think about it. I mean, if you think about it, then, I mean, like, a lot of stuff gets recycled, doesn't it? Toys and what have you.
Yeah.
So the materials in those toys that have got energies attached to them, have got some form of energy imbibed in them. Does that carry forth into the next incarnation?
If that's the case, then Dan, we need to be investigating a charity shop, because the actual activity in the charity shop would be off the scale.
Wouldn't it just? You know, it's like a friend of mine years ago, God rest him, he was killed in a car accident, and another friend of mine unknowingly wanted a back window for his car, and he wanted something else for his car. A windscreen. Something had happened. He'd had an accident as well, not a bad one, but he needed his car. So he went and got to the scrapyard, and he got the bits off of a mate's car. They didn't know were off his car because they were still intact. But as far as I know, it was nothing haunted about that.
Yeah.
You know, there was no activity from that. I don't know. It's weird, isn't it? It's like, where do you draw the line?
I know. I think people get a bit carried away with it for ego.
Yeah, I think you're right.
I think this sort of thing, I'm sorry, American guys, I really am sorry. It's not everybody, before you all moan. It's just a handful of people that they plant this little seed, right? I blame the Warrens for this. They planted this seed with Annabelle. And from Annabelle, it went quiet for a while, for many, many years. And then all of a sudden, the story was picked up again. Haunted dolls, haunted this, haunted that. And I think it is ego. And I know that, and I'm going to mention his name, John Zaffis. I like John Zaffis. Right?
Yeah, I do.
Before anything is said about him, I think he's a great guy. What he's doing is he finds these things that are holding an energy for whatever reason. And I think it's not paranormal. These guys in the houses have got it into their heads. Oh, I can't have this thing in the house. If it's in the house, all this stuff's going to happen. It's all psychological. It's not actually haunted. So he takes the thing out of the house. I put him in my museum. How's your house now? Oh, yeah, it's settled down. Again, psychological. When you want your thing back, let me know, and I'll keep it in my museum. He's always said that he'll give items back. People say, don't want it back. They've given it to him for whatever reasons. But a lot of it is psychological. And it makes me wonder, Dan, how sane are these people? No, seriously. How sane are they? The mental health...
I blame TV as well, because I think we have the same sort of thing going on over here, but in a different kind of way. I think what we have is it's like monkey see, monkey do.
I like that saying.
Do you know what I mean? So people, they watch a TV program, say whether it be an American one or for an American audience, and they go down that route. Now, a lot of stuff that's purported to be in America is demons. So obviously, people are watching them programs. Oh, demons! It must be demons. Over here, we have things like, I don't know, succubuses and stuff like that. So all of a sudden, it's, oh, well, you do it this way because that must be a succubus, that must be an incubus, that must be this, that must be that, or it's this, because they're in their head. They're doing it properly because they're doing exactly the way the TV show programs them.
Yeah,
and it does.
Yeah.
I mean, there's a reason behind something called programming, because it programs you. That's why exactly. That's why they're called programs, because they program you. People don't realise a lot of them, and that's it. I think that's it. People are programmed into following this. Oh well, you know, this is the way they did it. It's the way John Zaffis did it, or this is the way that Yvette Fielding did it, so it must be right. And that's, before you know where you are, you've got a whole generation of ghost hunters that can only do it that way, and then they pass that down. People don't do ghost hunting like they used to years ago. It's not properly done anymore. Yeah, exactly.
Good point. That is a good point.
Exactly. You know, I'm not saying there aren't good ghost hunters out there. There are plenty of ghost hunters that suck your bums.
Oh, I love it.
But that's the thing, isn't it? I think people are so... I'm not saying... I mean, there's a lot of good ghost hunters out there, but a lot of the way I watch people doing it and think to myself, you're not doing it properly. Not that I'm not saying that I'm any kind of expert. I'm not by a long shot.
It's because they're sucked in.
Saying I am.
Yes. Is it because they're sucked in by TV, though, Dan?
It's because exactly what I'm saying. Exactly what I'm saying. They follow TV, and it's like, this is the way it must be done. And they see, you know, I've seen so many people running around screaming, shouting, banging, and doing it, and you think you're never going to hear a spirit if it's here, because you're jumping at the wrong things. Sit down, be quiet. If something happens, no matter how extraordinary it is, just don't scream. Just take a few seconds to digest that information and what you've seen. Calm.
Mind you, that didn't happen last Saturday with a certain young gentleman called Jamie, who's not here tonight.
It didn't, did it?
He actually jumped, he screamed, and he sort of fell back a few paces.
He quivered like a little bitch jelly.
But that was nice because we wasn't investigating. We were looking at some leaflets. We were talking about the Titanic exhibition. And just as I was putting the leaflet back, I just turned my head for a second, put the leaflet back where I was getting it from, and it happened. And then when he told me what happened and the look on his face, I just lost it laughing then.
Panic, didn't he?
It was panic. But again, and this is another thing. Are they panicking too much about these inanimate objects, Dan? They
are. I think they are. I think I sit there and I watch people, and I'll guarantee you that 99% of the time, nothing's happened. Or if it has happened, it's completely environmental or it's just natural. But they jump into the, it's like, calm down. Even if it is paranormal, calm down and then go at it like, you know, calmly.
Here's a question for you, Dan, and people in the chat. So if an inanimate object, this little baby, if she can be haunted, right, those that believe in haunted dolls, or don't believe in haunted dolls, how does it work with a Ouija board? Because that's just a bit of wood.
Yeah.
Right? So if you've got a bit of wood or a plastic dolly, why do people put so much faith in these things that really aren't going to give you what you're looking for?
I have no idea. It's like the whole thing with binding the spirit. I think you're pretty arrogant if you think you can bind a spirit.
Oh, yes.
You know, if you think, I can bind this energy and I'm going to tie it to this, I'm going to tie it to that, I'm going to tie it to the board. No, you're not. You're really not. You know, that you think that these things are all powerful, ethereal, and they come from beyond the veil, and you think that a few words that you throw about, or you can. No, you can't. It's beyond your abilities, and for you to think that it's within your abilities is a form of arrogance.
You're deluded, yeah. If you bring a doll
Yeah,
into a
exactly, Nettie, exactly.
So this is my other gripe. Okay, we're having a right old gripe tonight. These investigators that go into these places and bring these haunted dolls, Ouija boards, whatever, don't do their research and do not know anything about the haunting because they like to go in cold. And they've sat for 4 hours in the wrong room where a replay has taken place elsewhere and they've missed the whole thing. Now, these things are not going to interact, not with your dolls, your toys, your paranormal equipment, not anything, if you're sitting in a haunting setting that's got a residual haunting. They won't interact with you. That's not going to happen. People do not do their homework, their research, or they're not educated enough to be doing it, which is why I always used to go with people that knew, and I learned from them over the years. What do you think about that, Dan?
I think the same as you. I think a gripe I have as well is when people go into a building, and I've seen it on TV. This room is haunted by a man that does this. This is the scullery. This is haunted by a woman who does that. It's like, what? So they can't move around then? So they're stuck in that room forever, are they? So they can't decide to go somewhere. I can understand the spirit saying, but I'm not going down there because that's lower quarters. I'm a different class than them. Do you know what I mean? I can understand that. Hi, Yvonne.
Bonnie's in. Bonnie's in.
Hi, Bonnie. Bonnie's in.
Bonnie.
Bonnie.
I hope that dog's not burning its whiskers on those candles.
They're cute. But I can understand that. I can understand a spirit saying, well, you know, they're below me. I'm not going down there. But to turn around and say, well, there's a man who haunts this room. What? He's there all the time, is he? He never leaves it. He can't go outside, can he? It's like, you know, they say, well, we're going to move around. And it's like, well, you know what? I have a problem as well when people say, we're going to go to this room because we're going to see if we can contact spirits there. Well, if a spirit wants, it can move to you, I'm sure. You don't need to be in a certain route to contact that spirit. They can move around, you know?
You mentioned it just briefly about certain rooms. Now, certain rooms can be dressed to look like something else. For example,
Absolutely.
There is one room that we know of that is dressed to look like a schoolroom, which wasn't. And then you get people go in there, oh, I've got beef with a headmaster that was here. It wasn't even a school.
No.
Ridiculous.
There was a particular parapsychologist I thought was brilliant, actually. And he looked at a haunted building. And he could tell you, right, it's brilliant. And I'm not saying I agree with a lot of parapsychologists. I do agree with a lot of what they say because, you know, they're the boys and the girls for the job. Mm. But he could tell you by the way that a room was coloured, the paint on the wall, whether somebody would perceive that to be the haunted part of the building or not. So somebody took into a building, he went, that's haunted part of the building, that's haunted part, because that colour there and that colour there, so they put the people in there and they did a test, and people considered those rooms to be haunted. And he went, you told us that beforehand. He went, it's because of the colour.
Yeah.
The colour and the shape of a room can dictate how you feel about it. And you think, you know what? Absolutely. Now, I believe in spirits completely. We've seen them.
Do you know what, Dan? Never paint your kitchen yellow because yellow gives you headaches.
It does. It does, like the one in Only Fools and Horses where they painted that. Do you remember the golden lotus, and they painted it yellow and it was luminous? He painted his mum's statue in the graveyard with it, didn't he?
It's fucking brilliant. Sorry, I shouldn't swear.
There's a lot of nonsense with Ouija boards. Sorry, go on. Sorry. There's a lot of nonsense with Ouija boards, but also bad energies. I find some people want to have an experience with the board, so they are psychologically pushing without realising they're doing it not always, but more than not. Yes, absolutely, Lynn. Absolutely. Yeah,
Ouija boards is a bit of wood. It's not a gateway. It's nothing. It's a bit of wood and a bit of plastic. What the thing is with a Ouija board, it's the intent you put in it. And it's the people sitting round the board. So the actual protection is not through the board. It's protecting the people. And sometimes you get one silly ass that shouldn't be on there that will and try and scare people. So common sense has to prevail.
We've seen it, Viv, haven't we? We've both seen it together. We've seen it.
And it doesn't mean to say that it doesn't work, because they will come and use it as a tool to move. Dan and I have experience. I only trust Dan when it comes to it. And I wasn't even touching the board. Neither was Dan, and the thing was moving on its own.
That was weird.
Can't explain
That was weird. But you're right. A lot of it, Lynn, they call it ideomotor movement, which is moving it without being aware that you're doing it. And I think that's the goal. Although we've seen people that have got to be aware that they're doing it, because you can look at the pressure that their fingers exert, can't you? You can see by the fingers with the blood. It sinks to what have you.
I thought she meant Dan was on fire tonight.
I'm always on fire, Von. Look at me.
Ooh, you're sexy.
Although Hazel would say that I should be on fire, to be honest with you.
Burn. Let's see if you're a witch.
Burn. Yeah.
Yeah, I agree, Charles.
And that's another thing with Ouija boards. Like, look, if you don't want to use it, you're uncomfortable with it, fine. I'm not going to knock you for that. That's your prerogative, your belief.
Yeah, exactly.
But I do turn around and say to people, like Viv just said, it's about intention. And the thing is that you're doing exactly the same when you've got a piece of equipment and you're talking to an energy. You're inviting it to interact with you. So you're opening a gateway. No matter what you do, you're opening a gateway. And by doing that, you're doing exactly the same as a Ouija board. It's intention.
Do you know what? Oh, Von, let me tell you something. I own a Kryptonic Ouija board. I used to go through a phase of collecting Ouija boards. I've even got a rubber one. But anyway, I've got a Kryptonic Ouija board, which has the words round higgledy-piggledy, okay? Blindfolded some people while using the Ouija board. You can tell quite clearly they're pushing the thing around, trying to make sense of what was being asked. Halfway through, we swapped the Ouija board and put a Kryptonic one underneath. And what came out of there, where you were getting some sentences that made sense, you were getting absolute gobbledygook because they didn't know what was underneath the planchette.
Yeah.
So it was a very, very good experiment. And I love Kryptonic. A lot of people don't like it. I love it because it sorts out the weed from the chaff. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So
yeah. You're going to get something for it. It's going to be real, isn't it? Or true to its word, as it were. Yeah. Thanks, Von. So are you. Mwah.
Rubber items, Viv.
It's all about the rubber items, I'm afraid, Annette.
No, it's all about the Wellington boots and your jog bottoms tucked in.
Of course, it's got to be in it. It's that's that sexy farmer look.
You ghost wear for all sorts of weather.
Oh, that is I know that's a de rigueur for certain people on Paranormal Investigations.
I love it. I don't care.
Keep you dry and warm, it doesn't matter, does it?
No.
As long as it's not haunted, you're all right.
What about Christmas hauntings, Dan? Oh,
yes.
Christmas haunted objects that you put on your tree that you've had for millions of years that come down from your great nan.
I've had nothing.
Have you not?
No, nothing like that. I've got nothing here that's. I mean, I've got stuff that is purported to be, supposedly haunted. Not on the tree at that, but like stuff, but nothing that's I've seen anything do anything. But yeah, I've not seen one. I'm not well experienced with a Ouija board. You don't need to be, Von.
Nah.
But I know some idiots when I say, yeah, exactly. Exactly.
I've got a good experiment to do, and you're going to use you as a guinea pig, Dan.
Go for it. I don't care. You know me. I'll do it. Don't mind.
I'm going to get loads of Ouija boards, all the same one.
Oh, yeah. You're talking about this.
Put them in a circle and put you in the middle.
Fair enough. I don't mind. You know me. I don't care. I haven't from mine. We were an angel. I was years old now.
Oh, wow.
Oh, that's pretty cool. Where did that come from? That's quite a lovely thing to have.
Yeah.
That's a lovely, lovely thing to have. I like the idea of that, Von.
Yeah. I think the oldest one of the I've got some of my nan's stuff which is made of glass, but I don't put it on the tree. It's just kept wrapped in tissue paper and kept away. But what I did keep, and you're going to laugh at this, when my kids were young and in the nursery, they made Father Christmases and snowmen out of toilet rolls.
They're nice though, aren't they? They're quite cute, aren't they? Kids.
I've kept my threes, and I mean, one of them's 34 years old now, and every time I get that out, oh, do you remember this? Oh, Mum, put it away.
That's a little bit of cotton wool tacked around it.
Yeah, it's still there. Oh, it's brilliant. Oh, bless
Oh,
her.
that's nice, Von.
Yeah.
You're lucky. You're blessed. That's really nice. The Victorians loved telling first stories Christmas Eve. They thought like the spirits didn't come through, so there was yes, exactly, William. Yeah.
Don't you have to sort of light the fire so it couldn't come down your chimney, or is that Krampus?
Oh, I have Viv. I have all the drawings and models they made at school. Oh,
Yeah.
that's quite cute. Whoa, that's pretty cool, William.
Yeah.
See, that's cool, isn't it? That's cool, isn't it?
I'll tell you what William's got that's really cool. I know he won't mind me saying, but he collects nutcrackers. All different.
Like the soldier ones.
Yeah, he's got all different types. I tell you, some of them, I look at them in awe and in wonder, thinking, wow, look at that one, look at that one. So different. It's like people's tastes, isn't it, over through the years, and they all change. But this nutcracker thing,
they hark. I mean, they're becoming more common now, aren't they? But they hark back to sort of that early age, don't they? That period of Christmas.
Yeah, I adore the nutcrackers. What? I was going to be rude then, I won't.
Yeah, I was going to say lesbians, but
cracking
and I can
nuts
say that because my mate's one. Go on.
Oh dear. So Christmas ghost hauntings at Christmas, or Christmas ones reported at Christmas. Do you know of any, Dan, in England?
There's a village up near us, actually, not far from us, called, it's probably quite a few of you might have heard of it. It's called Cold Christmas. It's about a mile from me. It's not very far from me. It's Hertford. And Cold Christmas has got a very haunting story. Pardon the pun. But the story goes that, well, it's not a story, it's actually factual, that around about the mid-Victorian times, there was an illness that hit the village, and it was really, really cold. It was it was really freezing cold, really bleak, and nothing could get through, nothing could get in, or nothing could get out. And there were several children there that had passed away, and they are now buried in the graveyard that's around Cold Christmas Church. Can't think what the church is called. It might be St Mary's. I might be making that up. But the church itself, I've investigated it on a few occasions, and not for a long, long while, and never really had much there. Little bits and bobs, but the graves themselves, they're still. It's in the middle. The weird thing is, it's in the middle of a farmer's field. So the church and the graveyard is right in the middle of a farmer's field, and you have to walk down to it, down through like this. It's like a pathway, it's really weird where it is, because it's tucked out in the middle of nowhere. It's beautiful surroundings, and that is said to be activity there around about the Christmas time period and stuff like that. But I've never been there at Christmas. I've just been there year round when we've had the opportunity or when I fancied it. But yeah, there's lots of them around, aren't there? Lots of different ghost stories. That's cool. No, they're not, Von. Take it easy, William.
I'll speak to you soon, William.
Speak to you soon, William. Take it easy. I have one doll that is handmade in silk. Even the little fingers are all individual. I think she's about 120 years old.
Wow.
That's cool. See, I love things like that. Things like that are that old. You think of the kids that had them that grew up to be, where did they end up? Where did their lives go?
But 120 years ago, you had to be rich to have a doll. It was just a stick and something like a wheel or something that you used to beat and run around the street with.
And that was it. Yeah, the kids had nothing. Poor kids.
Yeah. No.
Had nothing. I remember my mum telling me about when she was a kid. Like, I think she was poor. I mean, that's going way back. I mean, she'd be 100 and something now, I would imagine, my mum. She'd be really getting on. And I remember her telling me she had things like a stone with a face on it and a bit of cloth around it. So it was a doll.
Really?
She thought this was the greatest thing. and at Christmas getting like a Satsuma or an orange in your stocking and stuff like that, because they didn't have it. They were poor, you know. They didn't
My mum used to put a Satsuma and an apple and some nuts and some other stuff in there. There you go, at the bottom of the stocking. You go, eh!
Yeah, my mum used to do it to me, and I remember Santa. I was about 7. What's this? A bird feeder? Sorry, a lot of bloody bird feeder. But yeah, I was a bit older than that probably. But yeah, it's they did. People, a lot of people, not most people didn't have anything years ago, did they?
No.
What's Von say there, Viv? She said yes, she's dressed in finery. I was given it by an old school mistress. She told me to give it to my daughter when she was 21. I take it your daughter never got it then, Von.
I got my sons. They didn't have dollies, but he's getting on in years.
But they're cute, aren't they?
Yeah, but he's had his jacket made for him, like the proper original, you know, off the jam jar jacket, and this doll I think is about. It's got to be like 30 years old.
Yeah, I would think all of that, I would imagine.
I had to take it off my son because he used to have it in his pushchair with him, and somebody started because he had one on him. Because he had that with him. I had to wean that off him.
I don't think they represent what people think they represent, do they?
No, I know.
Because I used to think I still think they're really cute. I don't see them as anything other than like a little toy.
Yeah. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. I remember that, Nettie. I remember that.
Yeah, I love gollies.
Yeah, I think they're cute. I think they're cute little things.
I think she's talking about you again, Dan.
Yeah, thanks, Von.
She's only doing that because she's having a drink at Christmas. Otherwise, she wouldn't say that.
That is true. That's true. But yeah, I mean, I don't know. What you got any ghost stories, Viv? Christmas ghost stories?
I remember in that other house that I used to live in when I was a child, and I remember at Christmas Eve because I used to see and hear and hear all sorts of stuff, and I remember as a child, as soon as it started to get dark, I always wanted to go to bed, and my mum wanted us to be completely asleep.
Zonked out, yeah.
And I remember when it got dark early, Christmas Eve, and it was about 5:30, 6 o'clock. I said to my mum, I'll go to bed. And she'd say, no.
She didn't want you run around 2 a.m. looking for toys.
Well, she said to me that we would have to sit quietly and watch Crossroads. And as soon as you heard that music, Crossroads, when it finished, that's when I could go to bed. And I remember running up the stairs. I run up these stairs. As soon as the music started, I ran up the stairs. And as I got to the bottom of the first step and I looked up, as you look up, there was a little tiny square landing bit we have to turn. And I remember seeing a figure standing there, really tall. Now, as a child, Christmas Eve. I remember as a child, anything that's bigger than me is going to be tall. But thinking back, it was taller than a normal person. Like just really tall, standing there. And I was too scared to go up to bed then at that point because my sister's behind me, pushing me, get up the stairs. And when I looked again, it was gone. And I remember seeing it that one Christmas Eve. Who it was, what it was there for, I don't know. But I don't think it was human. It was just too skinny and too tall.
I was like, one Father Christmas.
No, it wasn't Father Christmas.
Too skinny.
Too skinny, yeah.
But that house was haunted anyway, wasn't it? Because is that the one you had the experience in as a child in the hole?
Yeah.
So that's obviously that house is pretty pivotal for hauntings, I would imagine.
Yeah. I mean, growing up, even in teenage years, when my mum and my parents divorced, and this will make you laugh, I would want to stay up and watch Hammer House of Horror. That would be on at midnight.
Loved it.
And Universal Studios, the black and white horror films.
Proper
but
horror
I was
films.
Too scared to watch them in a haunted house. All right. So my dad would work shifts at the airport, you know, and he's an Indian guy, you know, who thinks he's fucking Mr. Wonderful, but he's not. And I say, Dad, you've got to sit up with me. I want to watch this film. He said, no, I've got to be up at 6. I said, Dad, no, you've got to stay down here and watch this film with me. So what he would do is he'd go upstairs, get a sleeping bag and a pillow, put the sleeping bag, he'd move the coffee table, he'd have it lying on the floor. He said, well, I'll sleep down here, you can watch your film. And I'd be, bearing in mind, I'm in my teenage years now, the film would come on, I'd be watching it with my cup of tea, being all big and brave, like how adult am I, sitting there watching a horror film. And then there'll be a bit on there that would really scare me. So I'd unzip the sleeping bag and climb in next to my dad and sleep.
What, because you were frightened?
I was all frightened. And I'd spoon in with my dad and just like hide under the covers. You couldn't do that these days because I suppose you'd get accused of incest or something.
Oh, yeah, you would now, wouldn't you?
But my dad didn't know anything about it because once my dad's asleep, nothing wakes him up.
He's out for the count.
Yeah. But I'd scare myself because I knew what the house was. I wanted to watch the horror film because all my mates at school were watching them.
And yet you've got to live in that house.
And then you got to go to sleep in that house. So I'm getting a sleeping bag with my dad to watch a horror film. Sounds awful, doesn't it? All very innocent.
Of course it is. When I gave it to my daughter, Ungrateful Bug, I said you can put it in the loft for the oven. She's freaky. Oh, that's all right. You get to keep of them. And that is what matters. So Lynn says, when I hear the ITV news music at 6 p.m, it reminds me of the music for the news at 10 when I was a kid in the 60s. It makes me go to sleep because I was made to go to bed. Oh, that's quite cute.
That music goes do 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 do.
And they said the bell, didn't they? News tonight, someone dies. Dong.
His name was Terry Hall. Dong.
Country's in the shit again. Dong.
Dong.
Prime Minister's a moron. Dong.
Dong. We'll bring back memories.
Was he? I thought the Ghost of Christmas Past was the Father Christmas looking one.
That's Christmas presents. Was supposed to be Reaper looking, isn't he?
Yeah. Oh, he's confused. Is he? Or is he the future yet to come, the Reaper, isn't he?
I don't know.
At least Viv was allowed to watch Crossroads. We were not allowed in the room when adult TV programs were. Was that considered adult TV in your room? Blimey, the what do you call it used to move, didn't it? The set.
Used to go, yes, Miss Diane.
Yes,
Benny.
Yes, Miss Diane. That was it. Yes, Miss Diane.
Diane.
Sandy, do you remember Sandy? He was the lad in the wheelchair, wasn't he?
Yeah. And Meg Mortimer.
Meg Mortimer was that she owned it, didn't she?
She owned it,
Who was the guy? Mr. The suave one. I can't remember his name.
Dan, stop it. You're making
We go.
His name was David Hunter.
David Hunter, the suave, sophisticated one.
David
We have that
Hunter.
effect on people, Lynn. We do. The show makes them go to sleep.
Yeah. We're supposed to be talking about haunted dolls and objects, but we're talking about the news at the minute going dong.
Dong, dong.
Yeah.
So Von says the adults came in and we had to go out. The children should be seen and not heard. Yeah, I remember them days.
Do you know, I remember coming downstairs one day. I must have been about 7 or 8 years old, and my mum was sitting down with a cup of tea. I was supposed to be in bed after Crossroads, and something had happened in the room, or I don't know. But I come downstairs, I snuck downstairs. My mum was really strict. And I remember looking over the banister into the living room because all the doors were open. And I could see that woman doing that. And I heard bing, bing, bing.
Oh, how was unexpected. Well, Dahl wrote those, didn't he?
And I used to see the red flames at the back of this woman doing this. And it scared me, so I'd run back upstairs and get under the covers and hide.
Ding. Though some of them were creepy, weren't they?
Yeah.
Some of them were just, they were brilliant though. Nicking, you slag.
You're going down, you are, you slag. You can't say that on TV anymore.
No,
can you?
no, you can't.
I used to love that.
What are you, some kind of iron? That was it.
Oh
I used to
dear.
love the Sweeney when I was a kid.
Did you?
Carter, wasn't it? Carter and what was Dennis
Regan.
Regan and Carter?
Regan
That's
and
right.
Carter. See, the Sweeney wasn't really sort of my era. It was more, I could be so good for you.
For you, I wanna hear. Oh, I love that.
I do like you want me to. I
I'll
do
be so
anything
good for
for
you.
you.
Write the theme tune, sing the theme tune.
I'd be so good for you.
Ding, 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 ding. Did he die this year? Was it this year he died?
I think he did, didn't he, Dennis Waterman?
Yeah, it was this year he passed, wasn't he? Yeah.
I thought he was a lot younger than Rula Lenska. And they were married, weren't they?
Yeah, he was, Rula Lency, yeah. She's still around, isn't she?
She's still around. She looks pretty good for her age as well.
Yeah, he was married to her for a long while, wasn't he?
Oh, yes, what was that? Minder.
Steptoe and Son.
Ooh, he's got Harold!
Yes, that's the old man, father. So tell me, father, I do not like the way you're behaving. Yeah, you dirty birds round here. Harold! Harold! I'm an old man, Harold. You're such the old man, father, and I cannot stand you.
I just love that program.
Brilliant, wasn't it? Brilliant. Harry H. Corbett, wasn't it?
Yeah. I am watching, though, the reruns of In Sickness and in Health.
Oh, brilliant.
And they did slip up and say the C word.
Did they?
Yes.
Wow.
They forgot to bleep it out. So it did,
wow.
It did make me laugh. I crack up with that program.
Still makes my skin crawl.
Didn't he? What? No, one of them got done for paedophilia, didn't they? One of them.
The old boy got done for cottaging, which was hanging around men's toilets. What do they call it? Soliciting.
Is that what they call it? Cottaging.
Cottaging, yeah. That's what George Michael got done for, wasn't it? Cottaging. Well, I don't know what they call it in America. Over here, they call it cottaging, don't they?
I'll call that just hanging around outside a men's toilet.
Hanging around outside men's toilets, seeing where the big knobs hang out.
No. Yeah, hanging around men's toilets. We are talking about George Michael, yes. That's a shame because he died at Christmas. He died Christmas Day, wasn't it? Christmas Eve.
Which one?
George Michael.
Yes, he did. He died at Christmas. Yeah, Christmas Day. Yeah, Day or Eve, wasn't it? He was a very sweet man. He was a very kind soul, by all accounts.
But he was a troubled soul, wasn't he? So I wonder if the essence of his troubles replay anywhere because of it.
That house, I wonder if it's in that house.
Nobody reports it, do they?
Was he married to that guy? Was he his partner?
I think it was his partner, wasn't it? I don't know if anyone in the chat knows more.
Does he still live there? I don't even know if he lives in that house or not.
No, he died, didn't he? He died of AIDS, his partner.
Did he?
Yeah. Years before.
I didn't know that.
Yeah, his partner died of AIDS.
He'd had an argument with some. They said that they think there was, because there was a little mention of bit foul play, wasn't there, or something to begin with. The police thought there was something a little bit suspicious, if I remember rightly. But then you never heard anything of it, so obviously it wasn't anything suspicious.
No.
But yeah.
Yeah, but I wonder, these hauntings don't stop just because of Christmas or because the weather's cold.
No, exactly. And you got to think as well, I mean, a lot of the hauntings that would happen are, when the Gregorian calendar came in, when it changed, Christmas would have been, or that period of time would have been a different
time of year, yeah.
Yeah, then. So would a lot of those, what we'd call seasonal hauntings, be misrepresented because they're happening in a time of year that we no longer used to represent Christmas? Who knows? It's an interesting subject, though, isn't it? But
Can you imagine going and investigating a turkey farm at this time of year? The ghosts of turkeys.
yeah, loads of
Why
poultry
not?
guys.
Poltergeists.
Oh,
For God's sake, Dan.
it gets worse.
Well, but why not though? Because like animals do reanimate.
It's all energy.
Animals do come back, don't they?
It's all energy, isn't it? It's all energy. That's the thing. It's you know, if it's lived or it's living, it's an energy. So that energy must once it's expelled. Obviously, it's not destroyed, but once it's expelled from the body and it leaves, where does that energy go? You know, I mean, there is one, isn't there, of a headless chicken meant to be seen in London somewhere.
I thought he was going to say but he didn't. The ghost of
John's looking at that. What's that doing?
John doesn't like it.
Yeah, there's a headless chicken somewhere in London, isn't there? Berkeley Square. I don't know where. Don't quote me on that. But it's somewhere in London that is meant to be, or something. Got chased around. It got murdered or killed. They killed it, and then you see the chicken every year or something.
I know about the ghost of a. You're going to think this is weird, but it's actually a ghostly apparition of a blackbird that appears in a church, and sits on the pew and sings.
Wouldn't surprise me.
Yeah.
Do you know what church it is? And do you know when it happens? Or
I don't think it's around Christmas though. Thanks, John. I think it's during the year, and I know where it is roughly. We should go and check it out, Dan.
Definitely.
Even
if you didn't get anything, but you played audio, like you recorded in there, you know, see if you picked up any bird song off of it.
Okay. We come in search of a blackbird.
Yes, we were looking for a blackbird, and all we got was a lousy pigeon.
Yeah. No, in our luck. It is a famous haunting that's been talked about. I mean, the church is very, very old, and that story has come down through the ages, and it's even been written in books and stuff. It's a very, very weird haunting. Why this blackbird would haunt that church?
I think that seasonal hauntings are place memories.
Yeah.
I think that's what they are. I don't think there's anything intelligent about them. I think they're just.
Why would you hear it singing then?
Well, you could still probably hear the echo, couldn't you? Echo through time.
Yeah.
You know, people say when they see the there's one castle where two guys are fighting swords, aren't they? And it's an apparition.
Oh yes, yeah.
And they say you can hear the swords going clink, 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 and where they're like putting effort into fighting. So yeah, I mean. I don't know. What's that? Robin sings me yesterday. That's lovely, Von.
Oh.
Do you love her? I love a Robin, me.
Do you?
I love robins.
Do you know, I used to love robins until I started feeding the birds. And because robins are very territorial, as are blackbirds, as I found out.
Oh, blackbirds are buggers.
So I put the worms out, and you have blackbirds from opposite ends of the garden fighting over the worms. And then the robins started doing that as well. But the thing is, one of the robins has got so used to me. When I'm out with a bag of worms, he lets me get so close to me.
Yeah.
Won't let me hand feed him, though, only because he knows that I'm not going to hurt him. And he gets the food before the other robin.
Yeah, they're not silly. They're not silly
No.
at all. Yeah, I adore robins, Von. I think they're gorgeous. I took a photo one Saturday, actually.
Crow. I love a crow.
Yes, crows are lovely.
Crows and ravens, my favourite. I do love a crow. John. He wants to get he's being very possessive.
He's showing his boots. I know he's always, isn't he? Mind you, he all over you anyway, and you're his most favouriteest person.
Only because I give him biscuits. Dreamies. It's all about the dreamies.
Well, I'm sorry we didn't get. I mean, we talked about it a bit, didn't we, to start with? But I'm sorry we didn't go too deeply into haunted toys and stuff and Christmas hauntings. And I'm convinced my brother. Do you know what? Nothing surprises me. It's a really unusual world we live in, Von.
John, stop rubbing yourself on the laptop.
Nothing's beyond. Nothing's beyond the pale, as it were.
Brilliant. I love that.
Oh, that's quite cute.
John, don't sniff the light bulb. I told you before. My cat's so stupid. He sniffs light bulbs.
He's very cute.
But he singes whiskers, and we get the smell of singe in this room then for ages.
You should have called him Sinjin.
Sinjin. I just call him stupid.
He's determined to take your eyes out with his tail, isn't he?
He's trying to nudge me, and he did this before, and he threw me out of the stream.
Oh, yeah, that's right. The other week, wasn't it?
He sees mine, he just said, come on, please rub my belly. No, I'm not.
Look, they can go. Look. Boff. They're gone. So, yeah, I mean, I'm sorry we didn't get into talking too much about the toys and stuff and what have you, but...
We're not impressed, are we?
We're not.
Not
but it's been a nice evening, having a little chat with people.
Yeah. We'll be back tomorrow night on Simply Spooky Network, where we will be reviewing our past year.
Oh, there's so many to go through, Viv. We've had so many good guests.
Might be a long show then.
It's going to be a long show. I don't think there's only one. There's not one guest that I've not liked, even if it was just for entertainment's value. Like, just because they had a different slant on things. But yeah, it's been a really interesting year.
We're going to be discussing that tomorrow night. So that's going to be an interesting one. Yes. Are we going to do anything in between Christmas and New Year, Dan? Or are we going to have time off?
I don't know. What do the people want? Do they want us to go away and never darken their doorstep again? Or they would be happy for us to go through Christmas? Me and Viv are quite happy to do through Christmas. We're not bothered.
Yeah.
We don't mind. The others might run away and leave you in the lurch, but we won't.
Well, should we read out a Christmas story, a short story?
Oh, while we're here, yes, that's a good idea. But while we're here, I do want to give a shout out to a very good friend of the show and a very good friend of ours, Mr. Wayne Seaton, who is doing a Spook and Nori, and he's doing it on Christmas Eve, I believe. I think it's 9 o'clock. He said he was doing it, and I assume is he going to be doing it through? I'm not sure how he's going to be doing it. Is he going to broadcast? He's going to broadcast somehow, isn't he?
Yeah, I think it'll be on his own page. You'll be able to see it on his own
Facebook page. Or something.
Yeah.
Through Facebook or Beyond the... Is it... What's his team called?
Truth Beyond Paranormal.
It might be Beyond True Paranormal. I will send him a message. I'll get information from him and then we'll post it up tomorrow night. Is that okay, Viv?
Yeah.
Because, yeah, he writes his own stories. It's great. He's sort of, he's developing that whole ghost story for Christmas thing, which is a must, I think.
Yeah.
Oh, for you, Annette, we will then.
Looks like we're coming on.
You're going to York for 4 days? Oh, Von, you're so lucky.
Isn't she?
So lucky.
Didn't you see me accidentally bump into Von?
I did. Me and Von, we bumped into each other at the, it was the aquatic, massive aquatic place in Hull. It was lovely. It was lovely to see Von. And, you're so lucky going to York for 4 days. How lucky are you? God, I love York.
Dan, you've just been away for a few days, so you shouldn't complain.
That is true. That is true. But I do love York. Oh, God, York. But, yes, the Deep, that was it. That was it, Von. The Deep in Hull, that was it. Brilliant place. Absolutely superb. If you're into fish, you should take Andy there, Viv. If you're into fish and you're into stuff like that, go to the Deep in Hull. You will not, I guarantee you will not be disappointed. We go there at least once a year if we can, because it is brilliant.
I'm in two minds whether to treat myself, Dan, to a type of a fish, but it's where would I put it in the house? I'm thinking about
Japanese fighting.
An axolotl.
Oh, they're cute. Yeah, they're cute. Mexican. Yeah, they come from a cave system. They're brilliant. They're brilliant. I love them because you can. They start out like a fish. And then what happens if you can put estrogen in? Is it estrogen?
No, you just put them brick in, so they come out into the air, and then they turn into a salamander.
Yeah, you have to put a thing in. Not estrogen. What's the male one? Is it
Testosterone.
Testosterone. Put a bit of testosterone in, and they develop lungs.
Oh no, just keep it as a fish.
But yeah, they're cute. They're bloody cute. Their little faces are sweet as anything.
I'd like a blue lobster as well. I'd boil it, chill it, and then eat it. I think, aren't most lobsters blue when they come out of the sea?
I think they are. Yeah, aren't they? They are, aren't they?
I don't
think
know.
they are.
Von might know.
Blimey, Kelly, you're getting more fish. You've got enough.
She's got plenty of fish.
Kelly's got more fish than the deep.
And they're big ones. They're not little
They're
either.
beautiful. Kelly's got a beautiful. Her and her partner have got a fantastic collection of fish.
Oh, you can do that. Eat a blue lobster.
Oh, you can't do that.
Why not? I've got some, what are they called? Blue clawed shrimp.
I'll tell you what I would keep if I could.
Massive shrimp, but we don't see them. They hide away, so it's pointless getting them.
I'll tell you what I would have if I could. If I, it'd be a nightmare to keep them, and you would really need to know what you're doing. And unfortunately, I don't. I would like to keep some of those moon jellyfish that you find around the coast of Britain.
Oh yes,
They're stunning.
Pet snails. You want to see this?
Snails are cool. What ones you got? You got the Africans, or have you got the South Americans?
He was looking up at you lovingly then.
Oh, John.
Yeah.
John.
He can't hear
Love
you.
you, John. Oh,
hang on.
is it there?
That's
Is it?
it.
Love you, John. Love you, John. John, I love you.
He's thinking you silly ass. I bet so are the listeners.
Everybody else thinks I'm a silly ass. John, yeah, cool.
The Christmas display was very
Brilliant,
very good.
Kelly. Absolutely fantastic. Loved it.
You haven't seen it?
There's pictures up, isn't there?
Oh, is there? Oh, I don't know.
Yeah. I think there's pictures up. Yeah.
Cool. So, Dan, we'll be back tomorrow.
Tomorrow we'll be back 8 o'clock tomorrow, aren't we?
8 o'clock, Simply Spooky. We will be coming back in between Christmas and New Year.
Thanks to Von.
Thanks to Von. We'll put out the posters as and when. We'll read a story. We'll just talk about our Christmas presents, what we got, if it's any good. I've got your Christmas presents here, Dan.
I got yours here as well.
I'm not going to give them to you unless you're a good boy.
Oh, you might as well keep them then.
I'll give them your presents to Hazel.
Yeah, you might as well. Like everything else I've got.
Bless her. Oh dear.
Yeah, so tomorrow we'll be back at 8 o'clock, and we'll be chatting about about our past guests. Christmas is gone.
Yes. So
thanks, Charles.
everyone,
I hope you're doing well.
Yes, and you, Charles. Just take care, everyone. If you are out investigating over Christmas, wrap up warm, take care, but most of all, use common sense. Last words, Dan?
Wherever you are in the world, make sure you take care of yourselves and have a safe, great Christmas. We'll see you before that anyway. But just enjoy it and look out and look after each other. And don't judge each other by the politics. Judge each other by the type of person you are.
Take care, everyone.